Why is mine still saying paused? Okay, who can share?
It's recording for us. It's popped up for me.
Oh, okay, fine. Maybe my one was paused. Okay. So, guys, I'm just going to do a quick screen share, and we'll get started. So, I'm going to switch off my video just to make sure the stream is okay, and we'll turn it back on when we're done. So, hopefully, you can all see my screen. Firstly, let me acknowledge you all for being here. I know there is some event going on that I've heard about. I don't know what it is, but there is an event going on at the same time as our webinar. How dare they plan it at the same time as us? But, you know, seriously, acknowledging you guys that are here live. I know that some of you may not be fans or football fans, but for those that are, one thing that I will say is that to get to the top of anything does require some sacrifice, and it does require sometimes doing something that you don't necessarily want to do. And I know that along my journey, I've had to sacrifice a lot of things to get to the level that I'm now at. And it's not just learning how the markets work, it's also being prepared and being willing to show that you really want this, that you really want to achieve something bigger than the average, something bigger than maybe your current peer group. So, you know, I really wanted to take that 30 seconds just to acknowledge you for being here. And I intend to give you guys as much value as I can to help you along that journey in this presentation. So, you know, I kind of started my journey pretty much probably where you are today, where I didn't know much about financial markets. I was completely new. I was, you know, kind of looking at what kind of jobs I could go into. I didn't know anything about trading, not until I kind of went to university, and then I did a master's degree. That's kind of when I really started to understand some of the areas that I might be suitable for. And I'll kind of share a little bit more at the beginning of this presentation about how I kind of got started. But essentially, you know, as it says here, I kind of went from, you know, making 200 a month, you know, living in my parents' house, to making over 123,000 in a single trade. And that didn't obviously happen overnight, but it did happen. And there was a process to that. And that's kind of what I want to teach you this evening, that process, because once you understand the process, you'll understand exactly the steps that you need to take to succeed at trading, and whether this is something that you want to pursue. So that's kind of the aim of the presentation. So with that being said, guys, if you could leave your questions until the end, that would be really helpful. If you do, you know, if you're desperate to ask a question, I've asked Gavin and Dan to make a note of them. We will make some time at the end to answer your questions, so we can give you, you know, advice on anything that you're kind of struggling with, or anything that any particular questions that you've got about financial trading. And so this presentation will take approximately 60 minutes, and then we'll get to that part where you guys can ask those questions. So let's get started, guys. Let me know just in the chat, you guys all ready? Just type in a yes, and then we'll get going. I'll have a little sip of water just to give you guys a second, just so I know. Awesome. Just for the record, guys, I predict that this game is going to go to penalty, so we'll catch the best bit. So don't worry. Right, guys, let's get going. So you're going to discover my exact system tonight that I've used to make over 1.5 million in one single day. the exact criteria that I use to uncover hot FX trading opportunities. You're going to find out how to develop your edge and apply the right strategy at the right time to maximize your returns. Now, I know some of you guys are already familiar with who I am, so I'm not going to spend too much time on this. Just want to let you know that you're listening to somebody credible who has stood the test of time. You know, as I said, I began in very humble beginnings. I was I was trading from my parents' house, trying to make £200 a month. And I just got my lucky break. I got to work in some of the biggest banks and hedge funds in the world, including JP Morgan, Schroders, Barclays Capital. I managed a $200 million $200 million account for a hedge fund in London. I've been regularly interviewed on British TV, financial programs, and at investor shows for my views on the markets. I also lecture at Middlesex University once a year. So we have a 2-month program at Middlesex University. You can actually see us on their website as one of their partners. Myself and my colleague and co-founder Alberto Pallotta, we teach a module at Middlesex University, so that I do that just to kind of help out. And we also, you know, have various other links with other universities that we kind of go in just to inspire and motivate students who don't know, like myself, what they want to get into. And I am the co-founder of the London Trading Institute. So before we get into the presentation, you know, the first thing that I just want to kind of acknowledge is that I'm definitely no genius. And the reality is I did struggle to make a living from trading for many, many years. And, you know, it wasn't until I understood in my mind clearly exactly the steps that I needed to take, like almost like a blueprint of what I needed to be and what I needed to do to succeed at trading. Back then, when I started, I was kind of shooting in the dark. I didn't have a clearly defined rule-based plan, and that's something we're going to be speaking about this evening. And what that meant was that I wasn't consistent. So sometimes I would make money, sometimes I would lose money. And to be quite honest, I didn't really know if what I was doing was correct. I didn't even know if when I was making money, if it was luck. And what that meant was I didn't have a system. You see, like if you think of the biggest companies in the world, they have systems. They don't have the best quality product necessarily. You know, think of McDonald's as an example. They have the best system. That's why they are so successful. They certainly don't have the best burgers. So that's kind of what I was really, really missing. I didn't have a system back then, but I did get a very, very lucky break in 2004. That's me looking much, much younger. I'm not even sure if I could grow a beard back then. This was, for those that know London, this was in Moorgate on City trading floor. And this is where I got my first trading position. And I found my mentor, who basically taught me how to trade exactly the way the banks trade, rather than what you read in textbooks and what the retail guys trade. From this, I went on to make my first 6-figure trade in FX, netting $123,380, and then experienced my first 7-figure day, netting just over $1.5 million. This was for the company, guys. So this wasn't going in my pocket, just to be transparent, but I got a very nice commission check for my performance. Now, everything was kind of perfect at that time. You know, I was loving life, but there was one problem. What I was doing was not really sustainable. Now, for anybody that's kind of been in that industry, you know, it doesn't matter how much money you make, they want you to work for it. It doesn't matter how much you deliver. If you can show them that you can make more money working less hours, they are going to say, well, make more money, even more money working even more hours. You know, for them, it was like, well, it's not about life balance. And that's something that didn't appeal to me. And I knew I couldn't do that for the long term. And, and so I kind of decided that, I wanted to try and do this on my own so that I can build a lifestyle. That's what I wanted. So I left the city trading floors with all the money that I had saved. So all the commission checks, the salary that I was getting, and I put it all into a trading account. Now, this is something I definitely don't advise you guys to do. I was a little bit naive at that time, and that's basically what I did. So I was ready. I wanted to go it alone, and it went great. In the first 2 months, I grew my personal account from £250,000 up to 400,000. So literally, as a young kid, I just made £150,000 in 2 months, and that was all of my money to keep. And what's great if you live in the UK is that it's actually tax-free as well, because I was doing something called spread betting. So I was super pumped up. But this is where things started to slowly fall apart. I got greedy and overconfident, and I literally blew the whole account in a very short period of time. And to be quite honest, it was devastating. I was literally at rock bottom, and I had to start again from zero. Now, the reality is, guys, if you've spoken to professional traders, I recommend a book called Market Wizards. It's a great read, not only because of the great stories, but it will kind of enlighten you as some of the pitfalls that you might encounter as a trader. There's multiple ones. There's Market Wizards 2, Hedge Fund Market Wizards. It's kind of the same thing, and if you kind of read about those guys, you'll probably see that most of them have had some kind of financial disaster, and I'm no different. And this was part of my challenge. Now, part of me becoming a mentor and an educator is to help people like yourself overcome these obstacles without having to have these crazy financial disasters. So setting you up for success, setting you up with the right mindset in order for you to have the best chance of succeeding without you having to blow a whole load of money. So basically what happened was I got greedy, I got overconfident, and the reality is that I didn't really take risk very seriously. And, that really cost me. And the reality is, though, if it wasn't for these bad times, I probably wouldn't be the same coach that I am today, because back then I was kind of thinking, get rich, let's just, let's make as much money as we can. But I didn't respect risk. And right now, I could probably say to you, there's probably very few traders that are more disciplined than I am. And it's because of my experience there. And that's why I instill it in every one of you. Discipline is absolutely so key to your success. So having a mentor I could go to probably saved my career as a trader, because I was ready to give it all up. As you can imagine, it was a lot to take for a young kid. He helped me learn from my mistakes and taught me how to have the right mindset and discipline to make consistent profits over the long term. Fast forward a few years after this big setback, I was headhunted for a position to manage a $200 million trading account and a team of pro traders for a hedge fund in London. I basically knew I'd made it back, and in my mind, I thought I was going to stay on the institutional path for the rest of my career. But then one day I was asked to teach some of the struggling junior traders how to make more money trading. And although I was resistant at the time and was focused really on making money just for myself and my family, yes, a little bit selfish, but most traders are, I didn't want any distraction, but I decided that I should pay it forward, because if it wasn't for my mentor helping me, I would have probably given it up myself. And I felt like I should help these guys out who want to succeed. And so over the following months, the joy I got from helping the juniors make money uncovered my passion for coaching. And this is basically why I've started the London Trading Institute. Now, if you fast forward to today, guys, and because of trading, I could probably say to you, a big part of it is trading has led me to this lifestyle that I now can live. I get to live in my dream house, drive my dream car, and travel the world with my family. I married my soulmate, This lady literally paid for my first ever training 18 years ago when I had zero money. She borrowed the money from her mum, and that's literally the first thing I did towards trading. So who knows what I might have got into if it wasn't for that. I have two beautiful daughters, 2 and 4, and some of you guys might know I have a third on the way, which is imminent. It could even happen during this presentation, guys. So if it does, I'm going to have to run. And we still don't know whether it's a boy or a girl. So we'll find out soon. I get to contribute and make a difference to those that need it most. And I've got my time back. I can choose when I work and when I don't. This is just a little snippet of some of my trading results that I achieve in FX. You know, and the great thing about this, guys, is that I now can trade for myself. You know, and this is really the best of both, but you've got to get to this level. You know, making money for yourself is the ultimate goal. But at the beginning stages, I'm going to be speaking about this as well. You need to go through levels, and getting investment is the best way to leverage and grow much faster. Because if you're trading a £2,000 account, you can't make over 13 grand on the euro dollar in 24 hours. You know, I'm not trading a £2,000 account. I'm trading a significant size account. And you can't make £10,717 in 2 days, you know, because you just don't have the capital. So that's why we're going to speak about at the end of this presentation, how you can kind of go about getting investment. And this is just another snippet of some of the trades I've been taking, posting in our group. So for the rest of the presentation, guys, I'm going to be sharing with you the $5 trillion FX opportunity with you. By learning my 4-step approach, you have the power to use FX as a vehicle to financial freedom to live life on your terms. Now, you might be wondering, can this work for me if I'm a complete beginner with no experience whatsoever? The simple answer is 100% yes. In fact, sometimes if you're a complete beginner, like these students here, this was when we were allowed to hug each other like this and, you know, be so close without a mask. Just before lockdown, we had our 3-month associate trader program in the city. These guys were complete beginners, and they are doing exceptionally well. And you'll kind of hear a little bit more about 1 or 2 of these a little bit later. Now, the amazing thing is that my process is scalable and repeatable and can be modeled by anyone. This is very, very important. But what I will say is that even though it can be modeled, it's still going to be custom to you. And when we go through the 4 steps, you'll find out what I specifically mean by that. This is Thomas Hoyle, who was, again, one of our former students. And he says, London Trading Institute provides the perfect framework for aspiring traders, teaching you real, actionable strategies. After doing the career course with them, I've gone on to become a full-time trader. I'm doing around 5% a month with fairly conservative risk. Tom was a complete beginner. He basically he came from the army. He completed his duty and left the army. He came to me, he did our program, and now he is killing it and living a great lifestyle from trading, you know, working from home. Now, another thing you might be wondering is how much money do you need to start trading? You can start with as little as $500, but there are ways to get funded by investors with no risk to yourself and no experience needed. Now, here's an example. John makes $10,000 per month income on his personal account and is trading a 6-figure funded account. When John started, he was a beginner trading a $500 account, and now this is where he's at. And you can see here, this is just some of the messages that he sent us, letting us know how well he's doing. And we have also got some funding in him, so we can also see how well he's doing for us as well. Or Nikita is also managing a £100,000 funded account and is up £26,000 in profit in the first 2 months. Nikita started on a small trading account and built her confidence up. you may have not noticed, Nikita was one of the pictures in that little group photo. She's the little girl. You may have seen her, but she's doing amazingly well, really smart, and exciting future ahead. And this is what she said: joining LTI is the best decision I ever made. What I've learned with Andy and the team, I could not have learned anywhere else. Simply brilliant course. So today we are going to learn my 4-step approach to consistent profits for over a decade that my students also use to get similar results. And here are the things, guys, that we're going to cover tonight. Step 1, identify your personality traits. Step 2, create a rule-based system. Step 3, understanding your metrics to scale. Step 4, leverage. Now, guys, I don't know. I normally ask at the beginning of the session whether you guys are beginners, intermediate, advanced, so I know who I'm speaking to. Because of the delay in us starting, I didn't do that. But what I will say is that some of this may be a little bit advanced for you to understand fully, but I want to teach you something that is going to be of value to you. And that's why I've added some things in here. And in particular, I would say maybe step 3 might be quite a lot to take in, but do just try and follow, take notes, and do your best to kind of follow along if it sounds complicated. So step number 1, identify your personality traits. Now, if you've ever tried to follow someone else's strategy, I don't know if anybody ever has, the chances are you didn't make any money, even if they were profitable. How does that work? You might be thinking. Well, this happened to me, and I was really confused, to be honest, when I tried to copy other successful traders in the past. When I started out, I was thinking, well, whilst I'm learning, I might as well just copy somebody else's trades who's actually done this for years. Let me just leverage off them, and and then I can make money whilst I'm learning. Makes a lot of logical sense, and I'm quite a logical person. But the reality was that even if they made money, I somehow didn't, and I couldn't get it. I didn't understand what was going on. Now, it wasn't until I found out about personality traits whilst working on the trading floors of one of the major banks in London. You see, there are 4 personality traits that and each one should have a different approach or strategy to trading the markets. If you want to succeed at trading, it's important that you understand your personality strengths and weaknesses and to build a plan around them. There are 4 categories, and chances are you will be a mixture of more than one. So we're going to review them right now, guys. So you're going to learn the 4 types of personality. Now, you might, when I reveal them, you might want to guess which ones you might fall under, but there is a personality test that we do that will reveal exactly what personality you are. And a lot of the time, it's not what you think you are. So just bear that in mind, but of course you can play along and guess. So here are the 4 personality traits. Personality trait number 1 is a detailer. Personality trait number 2 is an exciter. Personality trait number 3 is a feeler. Personality trait number 4 is a bottom liner. So let's review what these mean. Detailer. A detailer is someone who is very organized, analytical, a non-risk taker, and somebody where security is important. So if you think that sounds like you, maybe write detailer down on a piece of paper. The second one is exciter. This is someone who loves recognition, people orientated, very excitable, not into details. A feeler, very emotional, soft-spoken, slow-paced, wants to be everyone's friend. Sounds like Gavin. Bottom liner. What's the bottom line? Wants the bottom line. Get results fast paced, risk taker, business minded. So think about this. How would your trading results be affected if you were backing somebody, right? if you were backing somebody, think about what kind of personality would you want? Would you want a feeler, someone who's emotional, someone who's slow paced? Does that sound like a category that makes a good trader? I don't think so. Now, the reality is that you'll probably fall into more than one category, but it's which ones are your dominant ones. And then it's about building the right method, the right process to use your strengths and weaknesses in your favor. So, for example, if you're a detailer, being organized is a great skill. But then if you're a non-risk taker, that's going to be a little bit tricky for trading because there's no guarantee of making any returns. And then an exciter, well, not into details, again, that's not going to be great. Bottom liner, well, yeah, that's a great trait to have. If you want to be a trader, you're going to want to make money. Otherwise, if you're doing it for other reasons, then it's probably not going to work. So once you take the test and understand which category applies to you most, you can start to build a strategy around your strengths. So let's talk about step number 2, create a rule-based system. So the question is, if you could invest £1 and get £2 out, how much money would you invest? Well, look, I think the answer is simple. It is as much as you can get hold of. And this is what you need to build. You need to have rules that are easy to follow, repeatable, because once you know your input and output ratio, you literally can have an ATM machine where you can print money out. So what is a rule and process-based approach? Well, it's the process that trading experts leverage to give themselves healthy, predictable, and sustainable growth via tried and tested strategies, no matter what the market conditions. Why rules are critical to your success? Well, they give you absolute control over how much money you can make, helps you build confidence to scale up your profits without fear of loss, allows you to predict your income the next 30, 60, or 90 days. That's one of the things that people ask me, well, how do I know how much I'm going to make? Well, you need to have rules. And once you have rules, you will have numbers. And once you have numbers, you can predict how much you'll make in any given month. Of course, it's not going to be exact because it's not like a job where you're getting a set salary, but it will give you a very, very good indication of what you should be making every month. So this means your ability to grow into 6 figures a year goes from possible to probable. Why have I mentioned 6 figures, guys? Because you guys want to be traders, right? You're not doing it to make £200 a month. You want to make an above average income. Well, you know, above average is 6 figures. And so that should be your goal. Now, every trading decision should have a process to it because you cannot trade the same way in all market conditions. So here's a sample flow chart of what I mean. So for every kind of decision you need to make, you need to have a process that's something like this. So here's an example. Do you think the market is trending or ranging? If it's trending, go to the left. If it's ranging, go to the right. Trending market. Then we have a checklist, right? And this is just a simple breakdown, but you would go into a lot more detail here. So downtrend, market making lower lows, lower highs. ADX, you know, is it above or below 20? Once you confirm, then you say, yeah, it's an uptrend. And then you move on to another flow chart, which is the uptrend flow chart, where you will start to look at different possibilities of why you will take a trade. If you answer yes, 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 you can take the trade. If it's a no, you don't take the trade. If you have a process that is something similar to this for every decision you make, you now have a McDonald's system, guys, and you are exactly where you need to be to leverage and grow. So in this chart, there are different market phases that need to be traded differently. So when you look at this euro dollar example, you might just kind of see a market that's generally moving upwards. Now, what do you see? Well, I see multiple market phases. Here, we have a bullish flag. So you might want to apply a momentum strategy. Then we have a channel breakout. So you might want to apply a breakout strategy. We have an uptrend line. You might want to buy on the trend line. Then we have a potential double top. By the way, this is live right now. So well, I only took this screenshot yesterday. So this is a potential double top. And if you guys recall, I did a video recently where I did the dollar index showing that the dollar is probably going to be strengthening. And so this makes a lot of sense as well. See how you kind of line up. Now, the reality is you cannot apply the same rules for a bullish flag as a double top. The tools are different and you must learn to recognize patterns and apply the right strategy. So this is really, really important. And this is just a matter of practice, okay? So let's take a little case study that, again, is quite relevant right now. I don't know where cable is right now, but when I took this screenshots, it was still in play to take this trade. So I try and give you current information so you can kind of follow along with it and see what happens. So the rule of three, this is what I'd recommend. You want to build a minimum of 3 rules that are going to give you a decision to buy or sell. So let's go through how to do that, how to build a wall of confidence part by part in this case study. What am I going to use in this case study? This is it. Trend lines, channels, support, resistance, stochastic, RSI, MACD, candle patterns, moving averages, and the Fibonacci. So here we are. This is a daily chart of GBP USD known as cable. Market generally moving up. Okay, that's what you can see with the naked eye. Now let's add some tools. Let's add in our 200 moving average. Well, look, this 200 moving average, the last time we went above it, the market since last year, July, has been going up and we are coming down to support. We had hit support back in September around here. So there's a possibility that this area could act as support. Then we add in our up channel lines. That's again confirming that that could be a support area. Then we add in an old resistance that becomes support level. So that's how many reasons have we got now? We've got an uptrend. We've got the 200 moving average. We've got the channel line. We've got a support line. And we've also got this hidden diagonal resistance line that becomes a support line. That is 4 reasons, I believe. Maybe 5, I've lost count. So here's a setup, guys. Wait for the stochastic RSI to go to oversold, let the market hit our zone, and then we buy it back towards the upper channel line. Now, bear in mind, guys, this is a short-term play because we have the background of dollar strength potentially coming in. So you can make money in the short term, come out and then look to short it again as it goes back up there. All of this is in a process. So by following a process like this every time, so you're not changing it up, you've got the same procedure, you will be on your way to consistent profitability. Once you know what strategy rules to apply, then you can prepare to scale your profits. At this stage, there is literally no limit to the income you make. Essentially, you set the ceiling. Now, I really literally mean that you set the ceiling. How much do you want to make? Because some people will say, well, as much as I can make. Well, there is a mental ceiling, and that's for another day. That's for when we're on the PIP show or the crypto show, and Gavin and I are talking about psychology. But that's really, you have the power to basically make as much money as you want. And this is where it gets fun. So now, guys, as I said, I'm going to get into the step number 3, which is understanding your metrics to scale. How can we reliably predict an income of 2K, 5K, 10K per month? Well, you need to learn to study your metrics and reverse engineer your results. You can get these metrics by running a free report on your MT4 trading platform. It's really simple, okay? And you'll get something like this. All of this is available for free. So if you're trading a rule-based system and you're keeping track, well, you can run a detailed report within your software platform for free, and you're going to get all these amazing stats about your results. You see, most people would just look at the P&L. So on this account here, this was one of my accounts. I was up in I can't remember how many days, but a month or so. just over $17,780. And people will say, well, that's great result. And maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But you need to look underneath to see the numbers. Because if I made just over $17,000 by gambling, then you will be able to see in the numbers. So the results will tell you actually, you know, he's had one lucky trade and you know, he made 50 grand on one trade and the rest of them have been horrible trades. Well, that's not the kind of trader, you know, you're interested in. We want consistency. And so these are the numbers that you can learn to study. And I'm going to give you some of these here today, but there's more than this, but this is something that you can kind of like look up yourself. The profit factor. This is defined as the gross profit divided by the gross loss, okay, for the entire trading period. Higher profit factor means you're doing better as a trader. So if you are running a demo account right now, run your report and check your profit factor. If your profit factor is less than 1.5, needs a little bit of work. If it's less than 1, then definitely needs work. But if you have at least over 1, you're making progress. Over 1.5, you're doing really well, really well. Your win-loss percentage ratio, this is the number of winning trades versus losing trades. Metric number 3, average winning trade versus average losing trade. This is when you win. This is when you win, how much do you win versus when you lose, how much do you lose? This is a really important metric because, you know, people spend time thinking about the reward to risk. They come up with a chart and say, yeah, I've got a 5-to-1 reward to risk. Okay, great, fantastic. But how often do you get 5 for your 1? Do you go up 1 and then you're like, oh my God, let me take my profit? Well, this metric is going to tell me exactly what you're doing. You don't need to tell me. This metric will tell me if you're cutting your profits too early. So if your average before the trade is like, oh, my average is 3-to-1, but your average win trade versus lose trade is 1-to-1, well, I know that you're not sticking to your plan. You're cutting your profits short. And then the Sharpe ratio, one of the most looked at in hedge funds, looks at past performance compared to the excess risk that was taken by the trader. The higher the number, the better you are at making a return given a set amount of risk. So you've got to learn to study your metrics and reverse engineer your results. Now, I've just taken this profit, guys, that I made on this account, and I've broken it down by currency pair. And here's the interesting thing that you might be able to learn. This is why keeping a journal is really, really important. In this $17,780, I made most of my money on the Aussie dollar. This was, and I remember that month, it was amazing that month. But the euro dollar actually made me a loss. So if I knew that, let's say with a lot of data, and I've got a lot of data, obviously, because I've been trading for a long time, this is just a sample. If this was over like, I don't know, 6 months, for example, well, you might say, well, this is quite significant. I don't make money in the euro dollar. Now, that's not true. I do. But do you know, I found out, and this is probably why you can't see it here, and sometimes people who've been following me for quite a long time will know, I don't really trade the dollar yen very much. I sometimes get sucked into it because one of my students might say to me, hey, can you go over the dollar yen? And then I look at a setup and I trade it. And then I realize, oh, yeah, things just don't really work for some reason on the dollar yen. Now, I'm not trying to put you off the dollar yen, but the point is that I stopped trading the dollar yen because my numbers were showing me that I was wasting risk. I could be putting that risk on currency pairs like the Aussie dollar that were making me money so I could scale up. Right, so without having to add another strategy, adding more money, none of that stuff, I can make more money by knowing these numbers. And then you can take it to different levels. Look, you can see, right, the profit factor for different pairs. So look, Aussie dollar, great profit factor. Kiwi dollar, great profit factor. Dollar CAD, great profit factor. Cable, not so much. Euro dollar, not so much. Sterling Swiss, great profit factor. And the Sharpe ratio. So I can see where I'm best at, okay? And then I can just focus on that. So like, you know, somebody asked me the other day, well, do you trade everything? No, I don't, because I trade the ones that make me the most amount of money. It's as simple as that. And then we can look at the expected payoff with these numbers. This is the net profit divided by the total positions. It shows you the expected average gain per trade. So again, if you look over here, you can see that I make, according to these numbers, euro dollar is horrible, and I make the best payoff is going to be if I trade the dollar CAD, the Aussie dollar, and the dollar Swiss. Okay, and obviously these numbers are skewed a little bit because the data, there's not a lot of data, but with a lot of data, this will be significant, guys. And here you can also see on average, for example, how long, and I track all of this in my journal, how long I hold on average on my winning trades and losing trades. And you can see in the Aussie dollar, it's pretty much the same. Typical trade is about 2 days, okay, just over 2 days. So we also recommend that you break down your results by strategy. Okay, this is where you want to go. So for the detailers who are, like analytical, you're going to love doing this. For the exciters that are not so detail orientated, you're going to hate doing this. But it doesn't matter what group you fall into. It's something that if if your goal is big enough, and that, you guys that are here today that are listening to me instead of doing something else, you're obviously committed. So if your goal is big enough, you'll do what needs to be done. So anyway, without digressing, the easiest way to do this, if you want to run multiple strategies, is to use multiple accounts. That's kind of how I did it. If you use a broker like Axie, for example, they allow you to open up multiple accounts. So I've literally got 7, 8 accounts with them. And I also have some other accounts with other brokers, but you can do it with multiple brokers, whatever you wish. However, I want to give you this note. Most of our students start off with one strategy until they've mastered it and are profitable. And we recommend you do the same. There is power in focus. Okay, get good at one thing, master it, start making money consistently with it, and then once it's almost an autopilot, then look at other strategies. And here's a breakdown of the Aussie dollar, the $14,541 that I made on the Aussie dollar on this account. It's a breakdown by strategy. So this is the Fibonacci C to D, overextension fade, the range strategy, breakout strategy, total P&L. And you can see here that the breakout strategy didn't really work. Okay, I lost money. Okay, and now if I didn't have these numbers, I wouldn't know this. The C to D made me the most amount of money. So what could I do? Potentially, with significant data, I could cut this strategy out for the Aussie dollar, put the risk on the C to D and make more money. So instead of having a loss, I could have basically made a bigger profit, again, just by knowing these numbers. Super powerful, guys. Can't stress it enough. Super powerful. This is, if this clicks, it's gold. Seriously, it's gold if it clicks. Now, focus on what makes you money and scale that up and get rid of what doesn't make you money. That's really all you need to do. And step number 4, leverage. Now, once you've practiced your strategy for at least 30 days, now ideally longer, but I know how impatient we are as human beings. So I'm saying at least 30 days, but if you could do it a little bit longer, even better. At least 30 days, your metrics are good, okay? Then you might want to consider going to a live account. And before that, I would like you to practice on a demo account. Now, most traders, when they do go live, they start with between 500 to 2,000 pounds typically, which is a good starting account, but you cannot expect to make a living from this. I started with a 2,000 pound account when I first got started. Now, in reality, if you're making 200 pounds a month on a 2,000 pound account, you are doing very well, okay? That should be your target. So unless you have a lot of your own money, then you can look to get investment. Taking a trading challenge and getting started with a trading account ranging from 10K to 200K. OPM, other people's money, is a way to get to your financial goals faster, but only consider this option once you have proven that your strategy works. Follow the steps outlined in this presentation and you will be on your way to making a great living from FX trading. So I hope you can already see what is possible and how quickly you can succeed once you have a proven process. Mastering these 4 things gives you a clear path to building sustainable wealth and impact. The reality is, guys, is that we have been brainwashed, probably from little kids, to believe that you have to work hard, you have to do all the hours in order to get remunerated. And in some respects, that's how I felt when I was working in the city. But this is old school thinking, especially in this modern age right now. All successful people understand that the quickest way to success is to follow a proven blueprint and to leverage other people's knowledge and money. Look, once upon a time, I was reluctant to invest. I had a limiting mindset, and now I can't wait to invest. I'm thinking, who and what can I learn? Who can teach me something I don't know? Who can I leverage? That's how, and it's a complete 360 on how I used to think. But it's a game changer to think that way, because we can do things on our own, but it's slow and you're going to make so many mistakes that will cost you so much more money, which I didn't appreciate back when I started out. So this is why I created the 3-month associate trader program. So if you are not on this program, I want to share with you a little bit of information about this to see if it's something that might be of interest to you to help you reach your goals and to accelerate and amplify your current income at a much faster rate. So if you want to build this hands down together, we're positive we can help you get the results you want quickly. In 12 weeks, you could be ready to start taking action and begin your journey as a funded trader. This is very realistic, guys. We could have put 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, because people have done it in the past. We've given you a realistic goal. If in 12 weeks, guys, you have the knowledge, you have the understanding, you know the strategy you're going to trade, you know you've done your testing, you've got your numbers, you've got the confidence, and in 12 weeks you're ready. You could be trading a 100K account, a 200K account. But even if you wanted to start with a 50K, 20K, 10K account, you're going to start to build this and do this as a great income. And it can be a second income to begin with before, and that's how we recommend you start before you move over to doing this full time. So most of the time, the thing that stops us is fear, false evidence appearing real. The reality is that I've done what I said I was going to do, and I've delivered on everything I promised. Now you have a choice of whether you want to get help and build a step-by-step plan, or whether you want to go it alone and try and figure it all out on your own. So the hard and slow way, spending countless hours with trial and error, wasting time and money trying to find a formula that works, or having a proven roadmap to follow from someone who has been where you want to go and offers the smartest and quickest way to succeed. So if I can just take the next 5 to 10 minutes, guys, to share with you this opportunity. If it's in front of you, if you see that it might be something that you've been looking for, then I'm going to make this an absolute no-brainer. Not only is it going to be risk-free, you could argue it's pretty much free. So I'll explain that in a moment. So just hold on. So we can greatly accelerate your learning curve to start getting your results like many of my students have. Now, take Anna Neville. She is an amazing story. She came to us literally a little bit desperate, I must say. She'd probably say that herself. Just a single mum, and was living in the UK, wanted just everything was so expensive. She wanted to go live in Cyprus. She's from Russia. She's not Cypriot or Greek, and she wanted us to help her with trading. And this is what she had to say. I highly recommend LTI as they provide amazing education support, and they also back you with trading capital. After speaking with Andy, I knew he could help me achieve my dream of buying my own house in Cyprus, and I now live in a lovely villa that's all been paid for from trading. What an amazing story. And Daniel Peters, I never have any doubts about taking a trade or how to manage it. Again, this is about rules, guys, creating rules. My account is up over 30% in 5 months. The thing is, we see people saying, oh, I've made X amount per month or whatever. But can they repeat it? Can they consistently do it month on month on month? That's the key. Now, the reality is, guys, we're not promoting a get rich quick. We're not saying you're going to get something for nothing. You're not going to just do a course, a program, and suddenly have everything you need and you're going to become rich overnight. You're going to have to commit to the program and you're going to have to put in the time. But what it will give you, once it clicks, once you have that knowledge, potentially your goal in 12 weeks is to achieve this: more time with your family, freedom for travel and adventure, and of course, more money. But here's a reality check. We can teach you how to make money. We can fund you with the money. But before we do that, you have to ask yourself the following questions. Can you take direction? Following a set of rules, even if they don't make sense to you, can you just follow them? Can you take patient yet decisive action? Sometimes you have to wait for an opportunity. Have you got the patience to wait for an opportunity and then pounce? Making trading a new habit. Can you commit at least 5 hours per week to make this a success? I don't think these are big commitments, but they are musts, okay, if you're going to work with us. So if you did answer yes, now you're ready to become our next associate trader. If you want to join our 3-month online training program, you will learn how to identify lots of high probability and high profit trading opportunities, the professional way to protect yourself when entering a trade, the skills you need to learn so that you can consistently make and keep the money that you make as a trader. In month 1, you begin your trader training. Find out what it takes to become our next associate trader via our online training portal to give you everything you need. You get access to live weekly coaching and our private elite traders club to ask any of your questions and supercharge your learning. Learn all the skills required to be ready to start trading with a live funded account and start making side income as fast as possible. Month 2, putting it all together. By now, you'll know how to identify money-making opportunities. You'll also know how to manage your risk just like a pro trader. Now it's time to create your trading plan and to begin trading. Month 3, live coaching. From week 1, you'll join one of my trading team for weekly coaching to apply what you've been learning. Market strategy. Together, you will hunt for live trading opportunities in the market and get real live trading experience. Time to take action. After 12 weeks of preparation, you will start trading your live account. This is a biggie. Become a contractor with London Trading Institute. Open up your life to a new possibility. You have the opportunity to begin your funded trader career with us and trade a real live account. Every trader has a chance to grow their funded account up to 2 million based on performance. That is funding that's coming directly from us, the London Trading Institute. This is the growth path that we will set for you. You will start with a potential count of $12,500, and as you progress, we can take you up to 2 million. For most people, they won't even need to go that high, but that's where we can take you as a funder. And how does it work? Well, some of you guys may already be familiar with some of these, but I'll kind of share with you exactly what you need to do. You need to have minimum trading days of 10 days. The trading period is 30 days. So you have 30 days to achieve a target of 10% and 60 days to achieve a target of 5%. You can trade as you want. We give you leverage. You can hold overnight, you can hold on the weekends. I know that some prop firms give you all these restrictions. We don't do that. You can hedge, you can stack, you can trade the way you want. We're going to help you build your strategy out and you can make money however you want. You just got to stick to the risk limit of 10% and 5%, and that's it. So basically, you need to learn how to hit 10% profit within 30 days during stage 1 and 5% profit within 60 days during stage 2. Our job is to give you the knowledge to do this ASAP, and here's how we will do it together. You'll get 3 months of coaching course. So you'll dial into our live weekly support calls where we break down all your training questions every Thursday. And that includes recordings, guys. You get exclusive access to our private club. Okay, this is where you can ask questions, see other traders post, and see what other traders are trading. Now, during my career, I've developed some very powerful trading tools. These have helped me to gain big advantage within the market and to be able to identify more opportunities to find high probability and low risk trades. They've also saved so much more time than when I first started and will help you see the market in ways that hardly any other traders even know about. So, time to meet my pro trader indicators, the trend line indicator. This, you may have seen Dan using this at the beginning of this presentation. This literally is a time saver, such a huge time saver, and it's so accurate. So you never miss an opportunity again. Okay, so literally all the trend lines are drawn in for you. Support and resistance, where are the key points where institutions are going to be interested? This is drawn in automatically, guys, so you don't have to worry about trying to find the best levels. The DTR, this has a 95% accuracy where it predicts the high and low of the day. Okay, this is one of my favorite indicators, and it's super good, especially for day traders. And then my precision Fibonacci, this is absolutely a game changer. I don't think there's a better tool than this Fibonacci tool. And I know I'm biased, but this is a game changer. It's unbelievable. You might have seen Dan using it at the beginning of this presentation, how much it helps to identify exactly where the market's going to go. And it's uncanny how often it does exactly where the prediction is. So it tells you where to get in and where to target. And if you combine that with everything else that we teach you, it is absolutely a game changer. So not only that, when you sign up, you also get all these bonuses. You get 80 hours of archived coaching. So these are past coaching sessions with other students. So that's going to keep you busy. And there's probably not a question in there that you haven't thought of. There's been a lot of questions. You'll also get my trade journal sheet. So learn where you make money and where you don't by tracking your trades like a professional trade plan. This is where you can literally follow the plan to follow the template to build your plan. So never trade with chance again. And bonus number 4, the risk management sheet. So literally your risk management will be taken care of. So you don't need to worry. You just need to follow your rules, and then use the risk management sheet to tell you exactly how much you should be risking on each trade. Again, just making things really simple and less likely for you to make mistakes. We also give you the associate trader assessment. So this is to help you get funded account. And the 6th bonus is a 12,500 funded account. So yes, you're reading that correctly. Pass our funded traders challenge after completing the program, and we'll fund your trading account with $12,500 and also give you a 70-30 split in your favor without any of the restrictions, as I said before. Now, you're also going to get our personality profile test. So if you want to succeed at trading, it's important that you understand your personality strengths and weaknesses. By taking this test, you will understand where to start building a plan and building your plan around your personality. Now, bonus number 8, you're also going to get a live session with me where I'm going to help you understand the kind of strategies that you can implement based on your personality. Okay, this is the first time we're offering this, and it's included for you guys only. So anybody who's on this webinar now, it's included. Join me for a live session to break down your trading personalities and get specific trading strategies that you can start to use in your own trading plan. So guys, this is your decision point. You get £22,000 and 22,022 of value for just £1,997. If you are interested, you can make a one-time payment of $1,997 to join the program, or 3 monthly payments of $747. Now, this is important to me. I want to take the risk away. So I'm giving you a full 14-day money-back guarantee with no restrictions. I think very few people do that. So if you've ever seen a money-back guarantee, normally you get like the first module. They don't want to show you anything. They don't put you in their group. We don't believe in that. If you are, we're going to trust you like you're going to trust us. I think it's the way we work. We want to have a relationship. We want to have a friendship, and we want to make sure that this is right for you. So we give you 14 days to take it for a test run, essentially. Now, I don't want you to take something on just for the test run. I want you to fully commit to doing the program. But if for some reason, within those 14 days, you figure out, actually, this isn't for me for whatever reason, you can let us know and we will return your funds, no questions asked. Now, we're going to make this. We promised yesterday that we're going to do something special for these guys that are live. And here it is. If any of you are interested in doing this program and sign up in the next 48 hours, you're also going to get these extra upgrades. You're going to have your account increase. So your live funded account will increase from $12,500 to $25,000. By the way, guys, if you want to join, one of the guys will be posting the link in the chat. So Gavin or Dan will be posting the link now. So look in the chat, go to the order page, and you can register right now. You don't have to wait until I finish. I'm almost at the end and we can take questions. But guys, post the link in if anybody is ready to sign up. Now, here for me is the game changer, something we've never done before. And quite frankly, Gavin thought I was absolutely crazy when I said I want to do this. This for me is a no-brainer. This makes this deal an absolute no-brainer. So you're paying £1997 to join the program. What we are doing is, apart from giving you the opportunity to qualify for 25,000, we are going to take the funds that you invest and we're going to put them into a trading account for you. So you have an account to start trading immediately. So I think this is quite unheard of for somebody to do this. Why are we doing this? Because one of the most common things I hear is, well, if I invest in the program, Andy, and I somehow, what if I can't qualify for your funded account? Well, yeah, I understand why you might think that, but believe me, we'll get you there. We'll work with you so you have a very good chance of qualifying. But just to kind of remove that objection, how about we take that money, and when you're ready, once you've gone through the program, you've built your plan, you tested your strategy, and you've had confirmation that you're ready, we will have a £2,000 account ready for you to start trading live. Okay, that's, again, like I said, I think I've said it enough. We've never done this before. This is exclusive for you guys. Wow, I think is what you should be saying. Now, to be clear, this is a special price offer, an upgrade. Okay, bonuses are only valid for the next 48 hours, and you must take action now to secure your spot. We are going to be really strict on this one, guys. If you contact us after 48 hours, you will not be able to get this. I absolutely guarantee you wouldn't. It doesn't matter how much you beg, what you say, we won't be able to do it. We really have to limit this, and we know that, if we're now, we really are taking all the risk. We're giving you pretty much, we're putting your money back into a live account. We want to work with the very, very top serious people. So you guys that are live here, you're already showing me that you're serious. I know there are some people that couldn't make it live that are watching the recording. I get it as well. Like, you guys, if you are serious, and this is an opportunity that is a no-brainer, then we want to work with you, and we want to give you the opportunity to take this on. Now, here's what others are saying about me. In my second month, this is Dan Tyler that you heard at the beginning, I made 8% by using what I learned during the program, and my biggest trade so far on cable, where I made 11% in just over 8 hours. I'm now funded trading upwards of 25,000, and my life has totally changed. I love LTI and Andy. I have LTI and Andy to thank for everything. And Alvaro, and Dan was a complete beginner. He really was a complete beginner. I remember speaking to him all those months ago. And wow, if for those that were here with us live, I don't think we recorded that part, but if I don't think we did, but for those that watched how Dan can analyze the markets, I mean, like, honestly, that is a professional level analysis. I think you'll find very few traders that can do what Dan just showed you. So this is what Alvaro had to say. Over the last couple of months, I've been achieving returns of roughly 2.5% a week. That sets me up to be getting around 10% return a month. LTI is the most honest and transparent program out there, simply because there's a track record of success and also a track record of successful traders. And then Lee Beckett says, since joining the LTI program, I've refined my strategy over a number of weeks and now seeing returns of up to 12% per week. I now trade the same way that institutions do rather than the usual retail trader approach. And without OTR support, I wouldn't be in the position that I am in now. And here's me again with some of my students and what Rob had to say on Trustpilot. So basically, guys, if you are new to us, you can also look us up on Trustpilot and have a look at some of those reviews that we've been getting. Pretty much, yeah, I think you'll be pretty impressed of what we've got out of independent reviews. So here's what Rob said: a risk that paid off. I took a 3-month in-house course with Andy in April 2019. By the way, guys, you should be able to see in the chat. If you're ready to sign up, you can click the link and just do it right away, and we'll get you started this evening. You'll get your login details and you can actually start going through the program immediately. So going back to this, so Robert said, I took a 3-month in-house course with Andy in April 2019. Rob is there to my left, you might see, with the black t-shirt. I took a massive risk by leaving my job and investing a lot of money. A year down the line, I now have multiple streams of income, flexibility to trade whenever I want, and the knowledge to and practice to only need to spend 20 to 30 minutes a day on the charts. And this course gave me all the tools and knowledge I needed to succeed. And that, combined with the endless hours I spent reviewing the charts and trading demo accounts, I'm pleased to be able to share that I'm trading multiple 5-figure accounts. I've increased my income significantly, had a 5-figure month in December, perfectly in time for Christmas. And I'm now on my way to trading 6-figure accounts and going full time. And I can confirm, guys, Rob is doing that and even more. Saulo from Brazil, he came from Brazil to do our program. He said, trading with the OTR rules has finally allowed me to get profitable after so many years of trying by myself. And Thomas Howell, London Trading provides the perfect framework for aspiring traders, teaching you real actionable strategies. After doing the career course, I've gone on to become a full-time trader. Results guaranteed. These strategies have already made me wealthy. This won't buy me another new car or give me more freedom, but they will change everything for you if you will let them. However, if for whatever reason you change your mind, let us know within 14 days of purchase and we will return 100% of your investment. I promise this course works if you will. So guys, this is, you know, we're going to get to questions in just a moment, but I want to kind of break it down to you in this way. It's a defining moment for you. You can go back to life as usual. You can kind of say, I'll think about it. And, you know, and you, of course you can think about it, but really sometimes when you feel like it's the right decision, you need to take action. That's what good traders do. They see an opportunity. It's a risk-free opportunity. It's a no-brainer, in my opinion. You can make this a defining moment. So guys, just to clarify, this is everything that you get. The Associate Trader Program, 80 hours of coaching videos, 3 hours live trading webinar, 3 months of coaching calls, the private members Facebook group, live funded account of £2,000, trade journal sheet, $25,000 of potential funding, the professional trade plan, the risk management sheet, 3 months of the pro indicator trial, trader personality profile test, worth £31,124 of value for just £1,997. And as we said, you can break it down into 3 payments of 747. So guys, Gavin, I'm happy for you to take questions. If anybody's have been asking, let me know. I'm just going to keep the slides up actually. And so everybody can kind of see. And yeah, the link is there. So guys, if you have any questions for me, I will just put on my video. And yeah, let me know. I hope I didn't put you to sleep there, Gavin.
You woke me up from my sleep. You didn't put me to sleep. That was really good information, mate. It's so funny when we do these, the sun's just coming up behind me and it's just starting to go down.
It is funny, mate.
Opposite sides of the world. It doesn't seem like it with all this technology.
Doesn't seem like it, mate. Honestly.
It's
really
crazy.
Doesn't.
It's crazy. So look, Sanusi says they're trying to pay and come on the program. But because they're in Nigeria, it's saying there's an inability to process it. So one of the team will be on there. Thanks for leaving your email address, Sanusi. Ola is saying, can I get the recording before Andy started recording? I want to watch Dan's analysis. Unfortunately, we didn't press record before then, so you can't get that. But hopefully you're on. Everybody that was on at the start, they would have seen that. And to be honest, if you ever watch the show that we do, the FX Pips Like a Pro show, pretty much Dan has learned the ways that Andy does things. So it's pretty much the way that Andy does it. So anytime you just want to watch one of the FX Pips Like a Pro show, you can pretty much see it verbatim. But I guess one of the big questions that I had for you, people are saying they can't see the chats. Don't worry, guys. I can see your question. I don't know why you wouldn't be able to see the chats, but I can see your questions here. Joanna, Claire, they can't see the questions. Don't worry. I will go through your questions. So just post your questions in here. The main question I've got, and I still have, like you said, I was a bit like, so we're going to do a live funded account of £2,000 straight away. Just clarify that, because I know it's something that people will be asking. Like, how is that actually going to work?
Yeah, so look, I mean, maybe this is the only time we're going to offer this. It's kind of like, it's a bit risky from our point of view, but essentially what we're doing is, you know, we're asking for 1997 for this, for all this education, for everything that we've basically broken down there. And we're saying, well, look, actually what we're going to do is we're going to give you a guaranteed live account, no matter what happens, of £2,000. So it gives them the opportunity to basically get their feet wet, trade an account without, you know, so like one of the things that sometimes people say to me is like, well, I haven't got, you know, I don't have any more money. So if I invest in your course, how can I trade live? And then we say, well, you could pass the evaluation. And they say, well, what if I'm, you know, what if I maybe 25 grand is too much for me to begin with? So I just thought of this crazy idea, which you said to me, you're crazy to do it. But I thought, well, why don't we just take the money and put it into a trading account and let them trade it? And then it solves that problem, because we believe in what we do. We believe we're gonna turn them into successful traders. So we'll put our money where our mouth is, and we will do all of this, and we'll take the full 100% risk that, you know, that we believe that these guys will succeed with the money that we give them. Awesome.
And just to clarify, so with regards to the funding and this extra £2,000 live funded account, there is some stipulations with regards to like the 14-day trial. So you go through the 14-day trial, and also payment plans have to be paid up. So if you are taking the 3-month payment plan, just to make that totally transparent, correct?
Yeah, of course, because obviously if we're going to put that money up front, and, you know, if somebody fails on their payment plan, which, you know, of course, most people wouldn't do that. And most people will, you know, they fulfill on their payment, but sometimes things happen. We obviously can't put the money up front until the payment plan completes. That's the only thing. But for, you know, if you do need a payment plan, it's not a big problem, because it just gives you a little bit more time to hone your strategy. But for people that want to kind of move a little bit faster, potentially want to start trading live in the next, you know, few weeks or month, then you would be better off. And plus you save money by paying up front. It obviously always works out that way.
Awesome. So I've noticed that there's a few names that are popping up who are attending live. And obviously we've had a lot of people register because they weren't able to commit to the actual live event, but they do plan on watching this within the 48-hour period so that they can take advantage of the offer. But for those of the names that I'm seeing here, I'm noticing people on that come onto our crypto show every Tuesday. They may be thinking, oh, should I do crypto? Should I do FX? What's your stance on what's going to be best for them to do right now? Because obviously they've seen the crypto is blowing up right now, but now with this offer, there is a great opportunity in FX as well. So what would you say to those guys that are a bit on the fence or unsure what direction to take next?
Look, I mean, you know, the two things are very different. The reality is that, of course, I believe in both. So I only, as you know, I can only offer something that I'm doing, something that I believe in. I couldn't just offer something to people that I'm not actually doing myself. The thing I'd say with FX is I've done this for many years, and the structure, yes, of course, I've improved a lot of things, as you've seen, tools and things like that, but the overall structure hasn't changed, which is quite mind-blowing. That they work the same way. The markets work the same way. The strategies work the same way. It's consistent. You could, and so I love FX. It's the reason why I am where I am today. Now, if you can do both for sure. I don't want to kind of, you know, sway you one way or the other. That's kind of your choice. One thing I will say though, with FX, you have the opportunity to be trading up to $2 million. Crypto isn't going to get there yet. Okay, you're not going to be able to trade, you know, a funded account for, well, you may have elements of it, but it's not going to be totally crypto funded accounts for a long time, in my opinion, where we would feel confident even to fund you. So the reality is that you can use FX to really leverage, and, you know, and it's a little bit slower, you know, if crypto is a bit wild for you, but you could take the profits that you make in FX and invest it in cryptos. You know, you can just invest it, because the crypto course is about trading cryptos more. Whereas, you know, if you make profits with FX, take like 10, 20% out, go and put it into Ethereum, go and put it into Cardano, go and put it into different cryptos and just store it. You know, you don't need a course for that. And then if you want to get a little bit more involved, then of course you can learn how to trade cryptos and really ramp it up and make money on the downside and upside. But I don't want to kind of go into that. I'm kind of, you know, I do believe that for most people, this is a better path to start with if you can't do both.
And just clarify, because there are some current students on the live. Obviously, they just want to kind of get, they're new to the program. They just want to kind of get your information because you're always dropping knowledge bombs. But this is a relatively new thing, right, with regards to the $2 million funding. Do you just want to explain a little bit about that? Because that is crazy that people can now get, you know, up to $2 million in a funded account. And obviously that's not going to happen overnight, but that is an amazing capital growth plan. Obviously starting at 12,500, most people don't get above maybe 25 to 100,000 range. Claire's saying this is an amazing and unique offer for people. So thanks for sharing that. But do you want to just kind of explain how that's all come around and changed? Because this is relatively new to the market overall, right? And it's something that we're super excited about, to be able to offer $2 million, up to $2 million in a live funded account.
Yeah, I mean, we've just we've made the decision to step up, to ramp it up, to give people everything that you could possibly, you literally have everything you could possibly need right now. And, you know, I've looked at what's on offer outside of us, people that specialize in this area, and I thought, you know what, we can do one better. We can increase the account size, we can reduce the limitations. You know, we're even looking at increasing the profit splits, which like we might be able to do for the traders that are showing that are successful. We might even be able, at the moment we are more than competitive at 70-30 split in the traders' favor, but we've also you and I have had discussions like, you know, we could potentially increase that, especially for the guys that are doing well. So, you know, we are essentially, what we're trying to introduce is a method where you can see a clear path. of how you can achieve your dream life. And once you have that clear path, and it's clear, because when you're like, oh, I've only got £500, and Andy says, oh, I'm not going to, then you're like, you're closed down now. Like you can't see the Lambo anymore. You can't see the first class holiday anymore, because you're like, well, I don't have the capital. I've got to gamble, and I can't, and you're lost. Whereas now you're thinking, okay, so if I master the rules, I practice my strategy, I learn my metrics, I learn about my personality, I practice, I get the numbers, I get funded, and I just do my, and then I just go follow through the process, and I go up and up and up. I could be trading 100, 200, a million, 2 million. And what is that going to bring me? Well, do the maths. 10% on 2 million is 200 grand a month. 5% is 100 grand a month. You don't even need to get to that level. Most people are happy with 5 to 10 grand a month. If you can do 5 to 10 grand a month, but work 1 hour a day doing it, you're a king compared to the average person. And it's not, as you and I have discussed, Gavin, quite a few times, it's not just about money. It's about lifestyle. It's about freedom, right? It's about having that balance, doing the things that you want to do with your time. And I think that's the important thing to stress. It's not, yeah, of course, you can make more and more and more money, trade more and more hours, but actually what we want to try and help people do is achieve their version of their dream lifestyle. And again, that's why we have a network. That's why we surround you with like-minded people, and we've set the game for you to win. Basically, now you've got to take the action. We can take you there, but you've got to take the action. There's no, we can't do it all for you.
Yeah, I mean, look, this man is totally committed to the cause. Excuse me. Not only has he gone out, so by the way, your wife has messaged me. She's in 15-minute contractions. As soon as it gets to 5,
Are you serious?
You're off to the hospital, mate. You are off to the hospital.
Oh, wow.
That's how committed he is to us as a community. So thank you to everybody else for being here live. But he's also gone out and brokered a better deal with a new partner, which is why we can offer the 70-30 split. And rather than doing what other prop firms are doing up to $1 million, we've taken it the extra demi special way, and we've negotiated a deal which can take you up to 2 million. And we've got lots of other things in the pipeline. Nothing else is signed and sealed yet, so we're not going to say anything just yet. But watch this space. If you are interested in taking this opportunity right now, then it's up to you to decide whether this is the person that you believe can take you to where you want to go with your trading goals. Fatima's saying this might be a stupid question. There's no stupid question. So if anything's unclear to you guys, let us know. We can be here as long as the contractions are still in the 15-minute section. As soon as I'm awake now, so it's fine. It's fine. It's only 20 to 7 for me, so it's all good. As soon as they get down to 5-minute contractions, guys, Andy is vamoosing. So get your questions in. Haley's saying good luck with that, Andy. I hope all goes smoothly. So Fatima is saying, might be a stupid question, but can you just clarify what the 70-30 split actually means?
Yeah, of course. So as investors, we're investing you, so we want to make money on your profits as well. But you get 70% of the profits, and we take 30%. But we have the capacity to increase that even, which I don't think any other company is doing. But you're stuck for what you know for sure, you're going to be getting 70% of the profits. So which is a really, really great deal. And as I said, we don't really put the restrictions on you like other prop firms do, because I believe I wouldn't want to be restricted in that way. So I've removed the restrictions basically.
And just a question, because this was one of the questions I had to ask you. What does stacking and hedging mean?
Yeah, so hedging basically means that can you take a long and a short in the same currency pair? So people trade that way. I don't trade that way, but you can buy long and then short, and then you've got one long, one short, basically. One's making profit and one's making a loss, and then people wait until it goes. I think it's a little bit dangerous, especially for this type of thing, I wouldn't do it. I don't recommend it. Stacking is basically where you are building up your position. So you buy a little bit of cable, you buy a little bit more. It's like scaling in, basically.
Okay, cool. And then we've had a couple of questions from the guys who have just started the crypto course. Raj as well has also asked about if they're new on the program, is this deal available to them? Depends how long ago you came on the program. Obviously, we think that's fair, but we are a fair company. So if you reach out to Dan and the team, and we'll assess it on a case-by-case basis, of course, that's fine. But a couple of the guys that have just come on the crypto program, Darren and also Haley as well, they're saying, would this be possible to do both courses side by side for a beginner, or would it be too difficult? Also, would it be possible to stagger the FX after the crypto course? So basically, that's a smart way of saying, can they, if I'm interpreting this correctly, can they get this deal, but maybe delay the start of it? Or is it possible for someone to do both? I mean, look, let's not have a limiting belief there. What's your situation around that? And also, as a coach, what would you advise in this situation?
Yeah, so if you can do both, I mean, the people that, like Haley, for example, who has completed the crypto course, but maybe is, because I know like she's struggling with some elements of it, they would be fixed by doing the FX course, because the FX course is probably a little bit more beginner friendly. So it begins assuming you know nothing and builds you up. And so some of the core things that you learn, you can kind of translate over to the crypto course. They are different markets, so the approach is different. So yes, there'll be some things that are transferable, but yeah, but it is a standalone. You know, the idea is that we're teaching you how to make money from FX, the strategies, the testing, everything that's been done. Like Dan was mentioning, the trend line, for example, the trend line strategy. 80% of the time it goes to the next trend line. So you learn how to draw them, and you have the tool that draws them automatically. I can't categorically tell you that works the same way in cryptos. I've not tested it. FX, we know the numbers. We know it works. We know it's profitable. You can definitely do both. I think, you know, the other thing you've got to remember is that you've got lifetime access. So, you know, you can sign up, you can register, you can invest in the program, get this amazing deal, which especially the live bit and the upgrades, I don't think we will offer again. I mean, we'll do it on a test. We'll see how it goes, how my crazy experiment goes, which I know you've told me I'm crazy to do. But this offer maybe a complete one-off. So if you want to take advantage of it and then start a little bit later, you could. But personally, if it was me and I was investing in this, I would get started immediately. I'll start working on it. And the weekly coaching calls are going to be great for you to start attending. You will learn a lot that you can transfer over to crypto. I'm sure it will help you get better with cryptos, and vice versa. What you've learned in cryptos will help you in the FX as well.
Yeah, Slavomir, Haley's saying, yeah, that's exactly what she needs, the structure. And it seems like just FX in general, the FX markets, everything's a bit more structured. So maybe that might be for you. Hopefully that answers your question. If you're in a similar position to Haley and Darren, Slavomir is saying he's done both. First the FX, where he learned about technical approach, then crypto. To me, without FX, he would be lost in crypto. So that kind of backs up the point about what Haley's saying as well. But there are some people that have just gone straight to crypto and they've taken to it and they loved it. I think if you're in a position to do both, then you'll get to see which one you prefer and which one fits. And there's things that you'll take from crypto into FX and from FX into cryptos, like what Slavomir is saying, 100%. Ola's saying, can I get a recording of this webinar? Yes. For all those that have registered, especially people here that are live, but for anybody that's registered for the event, that's the only way to get the recording. So the clock has started. So you've got just a little less than 48 hours to take up this offer. We don't know, honestly, we don't know if we're going to offer this bundle again. It is an experiment. But because of the success that we've had in the cryptos, we wanted to kickstart the FX again with this. And Andy's been doing it for 18 years. It's how he's made his bread and butter. You know, he can say things that he's teaching you, like on the trading indicators, the trend line analysis. Literally, you click a button. When I first went on a course so many years ago, like 10, 15 years ago, you had to plot all this out manually, let alone Fibonacci, but you had to plot the trend lines. Now you can click a button and it puts it in. This guy has done the hours and hours of research as a professional trader should, you would say. He can tell us that little nuggets, like if the trend line breaks all the way down to the 1 hour chart, there's an 80% chance that it will go down. So now for those of you that were on the live at the beginning, you see why Dan's saying with such conviction, well, I'm waiting for this trend line to break on the 1 hour chart. He's also tied that up with a Fibonacci, and there was a channel line offering a wall. Andy talks a lot about a wall. So there are 3 points of confluence that you've got. We're not saying that it's definitely going to work, but what we're saying is it's probabilities. We're stacking the odds and the probabilities. Now, I just want you to kind of explain about these pro trading indicators, because, you know, for me, who had to do all of this originally, when I first started kind of delving around into this world, to now be able to click a button is just crazy to me. And it shows how far technology's come along. But do you want to talk about those? Because I know that they're your little babies.
Yeah, I mean, it's simple now when you use it. And I guess, like, you know, for our students that use it, for yourself that uses it, maybe you don't even appreciate like how what's gone into it to create and make it so simple for people. But that's kind of, again, it's come from experience. Like, you know, it used to take me an age to do stuff like to plot my Fibonacci, and then you draw your trend lines and you move it by mistake, or you've drawn it incorrectly and you don't realize it, and then you're trading off the wrong information, and obviously that costs you money. And you know, and I've created tools that are super powerful, that, like, you know, there was tools that I created that didn't work. I got rid of them. Like, these are the best tools that you could possibly have, in my opinion, to trade FX. You know, for day traders, the daily trading range, how good is that? It's just so powerful. You can identify with high probability where the high and low of the day is, and you can trade that. Fade strategies that we teach. The Fibonacci, so powerful, as you saw what Dan was showing, like where you can literally predict where the market is going to go, and you've got an indicator, you plot it, and you know, it gives you an exact level of where it's going to go and where you can get in. And the trend line tool, again, it's you use it as part of your strategy. So once you know, like, hold on a minute, there's an 80% chance it's going down, there's an 80% chance it's going up. You're like, well, if I'm shorting it, am I playing the odds? Is probability on my side? Yes or no? That's the thing. So it's just making you stay on the right path, so you're not taking low probability trades. And then, of course, again, the support and resistance tool. It's just, sometimes when you don't have a lot of time and you to start drawing all your lines in and you don't know if they're accurate, quickly put it on. You can see where the levels are. Okay, great. It takes me 5 minutes to build the picture up, whereas without those tools, it would take me 30, 40 minutes to build that same picture. That's truthfully the difference. So yeah, they are amazing. And
thank you on behalf of all of us, all of your students, for those indicators, mate, because it has saved a whole load of time. And it's how, like, when on that testimonial, Lee Beckett, who's one of Andy's students, you know, he's making 12% in a week sometimes, guys. And to get the funding challenge, you've got to get 10% in a month. That's just for stage one. Then it goes down to 5%. So you're starting to see, like, how he's able to say with conviction how he's trading like an institution rather than a retail trader, it's because he's putting all of these things together. And one thing about time, Chris Hawkes, thank you for your message. He's saying, can you re-listen to the weekly coaching calls if you are considering the course alongside full-time employment and are therefore unable to attend the live coaching?
Yeah, you get the recordings. It depends on your work times, but we are also looking at potentially, we could be changing the times, but we haven't confirmed that yet, to make it accessible to as many people as possible. But what you can do is, anyway, even if whatever the case might be, you can send in your questions and they will always be answered. So there's no kind of limit. Obviously, if you send like 5 pages of questions, there's, but yeah, within reason, your questions will always get answered. And we do get people that might send in 5 pages of questions, but in general, yeah, you send in your question, you get the recording, and you do get the group as well. So you don't have to wait every week. The weekly coaching is more like when it's something like, maybe you've got a setup that you weren't sure about if you did the right thing and you need some coaching on it rather than just a simple answer. Whereas if you're like, oh, I don't understand, what does 1% risk mean? Or, whatever, it's something simple that can be easily answered. You go into the group, you post it, and somebody will always answer your question. So you've got that, community there to help you.
Awesome. Look, guys, we've gone through as many questions as we can, but your wife's just messaged me. She needs to go. Your mother-in-law is en route, so you better get downstairs.
Right, I need to go, guys.
So on that note, if Andy's got to take swift action now, if you're in the mindset, if that's answered all your questions, you're ready to commit, take swift action. We will reward those action takers. Like we said, 48 hours is the time period. You've got 14 days, a full money back guarantee.
So I can go. If anybody wants to ask you any other questions, mate, feel free, but I'll just drop off and then you...
Exactly that. And if you've got any more questions, just reach out to us, guys.
Take care, guys.
Andy, thank you very much for your time.
See you, mate.
That's pretty much all the questions that we've got. If you have got any more questions, just reach out to us and we can help you during the next 48 hours. And yeah, everybody's saying good luck to Andy. So if you're watching on the webinar, it's a 48-hour period. We know that you've registered with that in mind to be able to rewatch for the special offer. So there it is, guys. Yeah, it's up to you now, what you want to do next. If we can help you out in any way, then we'd love to. So with that being said, just decide on what's in front of you next. If all of this has got you excited and you feel it's for you, then by all means, click on the link. Dan and myself, I'll post it again. Although some people haven't been able to see it apparently. So Dan, I know you're about in the chat box as well. If you want to post that in there, can you? Yeah, Dan's just posted it as well, so you'll be able to see it. So go to that link, guys. You get all the bonuses. As long as your name is on our list within the 48-hour period, you will get access to everything. And any questions that we haven't answered, just reach out to us and we'll make sure we get them to be answered for you. Okay, guys, I'm going to go and try and catch the rest of the footy. Whatever you guys choose to do with your nighttime, if you're in the UK, if you're over this side of the pond and it's your morning, good morning. Thank you very much for joining us wherever you have been in the world. We love you lots, guys, and thank you for being a member in our free group. And hopefully we can get you into one of our paid groups and you see the power of how this can really help you grow exponentially. So with that being said, good night, good morning. God bless. Take care, guys. Bye.